So there's talk of a bear market rally. What's in the cards for Bitcoin on the charts? We'll break it down in today's edition of the Crypto Pro. What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your Crypto Pro.
Yay!
And today we are going to discuss the recent events with Bitcoin in the middle of these awful economic conditions. There's been a lot of talk going on about a possible bear market rally. And I think that there is a lot of credibility to some of these arguments and prognostications about there being a nice, sizable bounce on Bitcoin for the month of October, sometime in the middle to the latter part of the month, maybe even all the way through early November. And if this happens, I'm thinking that we could see several of the alts that'll run, because up until now, for the past several months, the altcoin market has been following the actions of Bitcoin, even when dominance goes up. Usually when Bitcoin goes on a monumental rise, the alts will bleed out. However, when Bitcoin is making these just medium-sized rallies during the bear market or small rallies during a bull market, you usually see alts follow right behind and make monumental gains. So we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart alone today in consideration of what could be possible with some of our top alt projects. And then I'll be reporting on those alts individually in other videos. And what I would say is that everyone should be very, very careful, because I think a lot of people could potentially get drawn in and suckered buying, thinking that the bull market is back prematurely, only to be dejected whenever the market turns back around and we hit that final capitulation for Bitcoin. There's still a lot of talk. The general consensus now is that Bitcoin is going to fall down to the $10,000 to $12,000 range before this ugly market is over. And I think there's some credibility to that. Why? It's because the feds are sucking money out of the economy. With the quantitative tightening that's been going on, and with the continuance of the raising of the interest rates to push down on inflation, where is the money going to come from for a Bitcoin run? Now, when you add to that all of the other events that could adversely affect the Bitcoin price, like the lingering tether thud, the tether thud. It's going to be a thud. The tether FUD, along with the dollar just destroying all of the other foreign currencies as the DXY continues on its complete historic bullish romp. Where is the money going to come from for people to pound into Bitcoin and drive it into another bull run before we get through this recession? I don't know. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? In my opinion, that's a no. Now, none of this is financial advice, because I am not a financial advisor, so take all this with a grain of salt. But I just wanted to leave you with a warning that we could see this monumental run up on Bitcoin, and we'll see if we can find evidence in the chart unrehearsed on a glance. I'll start with the 4 hour and give you the immediate, then we'll look at the 1 day and the 1 week and see if we can find evidence of a possible Bitcoin bear market rally. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. All right, here we are on the Bitcoin chart. This is the 4 hour chart. Let's move this down a little bit so we can see where we are. There it is, the 4 hour chart of Bitcoin, as we have just poked our heads back above the red dash line. So here we are, price moving up, and it appears to be headed towards the 50 EMA line. Now, what's going to happen at this line? It seems to me that with this stochastic just about to peek its head up into the overbought zone, if we don't have like a rally where we bounce around and stay above here and get like a double humped or a triple humped camel, I'm thinking that there's a possibility that we could get a rejection up here at this 50 EMA and head back down below this red dash line. So off the cuff right here, I'm going to say that we probably are not ready for this bear market rally that we're talking about. And it would all depend on the strength of this move and what happens when we get to the top of this cycle on the 4-hour chart. Now, the MACD is also moving up. We're printing baby little dark green bars on the histogram, and we do have a bullish crossover of the fast line and the slow line. Whoops, let's get an arrow there. We can see that the blue line has just overtaken the orange line, which says that we are kind of trending up. But as you'll notice here, our humps are getting smaller. Here we had this major rally right here, and then the next one was pretty small, coinciding with this move. And then we've got the same size with this bouncy movement in here, where we had all the action happening within this wedge formation. And then, of course, we popped up here. That coincides with this movement above the zero line on the histogram, and then we failed. However, we did not plummet after this little failure right here. We moved right back up above the red dash line. So now it looks like we're just continuing on with this side banding, and this whole area right here is quite confusing. So there's not a real bit of evidence that we can hang our hat on and say that, hey, the bear market rally is about to start, at least not according to the 4-hour chart. Now, with that, let's move to the 1-day chart and see where we sit here. So let's scrunch down this price line, move it out, and it looks a little bit different. We do see that now that we're above the red dash line, there appears to be a fake out here where it looked like the stochastic was going to trend down, and now it looks like it's going to go back up. But we don't know if that impending crossover is going to hold. The only good bit of evidence that I would say is the fact that this MACD, the oscillators, are looking like they want to move up. So downstairs, we see that the oscillators have crossed over bullish right here, but it's a fairly weak movement because we have such small bars on the histogram. Now, we did go light green, and then we went to dark green with these previous 2 red candles. So again, this is not enough evidence for us to say for sure that this could be the start of a bear market rally. Now, if this holds, if this crossover right here holds, I would expect the Bitcoin price to run up at least to the point of control price, and that price is right about here at 19,987, like just under 20,000. And if the momentum is strong enough, it could carry us up to this next volume node, which is at a price of roughly 21,300-ish. And if that holds and momentum is still strong, maybe we make it up to this volume node or get above the purple dash line. So the prices on these 2 nodes are 23,100 and then 23,943. So we'll have to look at the 1-week chart to determine if this could be the beginning, if we make it up that far, where we would have our bear market rally and surge upwards, where everyone gets fooled into thinking that this is the beginning of a bull run. And I would say exercise caution. The caution flag is out, and don't be fooled. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no opportunity here to make money, because, as I said before, if we do get a strong movement up with Bitcoin, the alts are going to follow. We have seen that for the last several months, and it could be a chance to sell some of your altcoins at a peak and then hold and wait for the market to correct and finally go down to the big capitulation that we're all expecting. Now, you don't want to make predictions about whether or not the bottom is in, but with all the economic conditions that exist today and with the war still going on in Ukraine, I don't know where the money is going to come from that would suck the entire cryptocurrency sector out of what we're about to see. And the general consensus, 80 to 90% of people are thinking that we are going to capitulate one more time. Usually when that happens, Bitcoin likes to do the opposite. But with the size of the FUD and the negative events that are going on, and with all of the foreign currencies to the US dollar in turmoil, I don't know what's going to prop up this market. I think everything is due for a massive reset. Okay, so here we are on the let's go to the 1 week chart, not the 1 month. We don't want to skip over 1 week. So here we are on the 1 week chart, and it looks like we are kind of at a bottom for right now. And so what could happen here, we see that we had a couple fake outs. It looked like we were going up here, and then we crossed over bearish. But then we had another bullish crossover that turned into a fake out. We went down again. And right here, we can see that the fast line is curling around and giving a hint that it wants to cross over the slow line. Is it far enough down in the oversold territory to justify a turnaround? Will the cycle begin again and move up from here? I don't know. Looking at the MACD, if the oscillators on the MACD continue this trend where you had a peak, followed by another lower peak, followed by another lower peak, and what could be one more lower peak, if this continues downward, I would say that this is not the time for the market to rally. Now, could we come straight out of this and sideband for a while? Yeah, we could. We could jump up here to this volume node. We could go as high as like 27, or we could even jump up here into the mid 30s before a final capitulation. And let's just say, for instance, that we did. Let's just put some scenarios up here. Let's say we get a bear market rally and we surge up all the way up here before we hump down again. This would still fall in line with the overall picture of lower highs. Here's the peak right here. Let's make an arrow out of that actually. Here's our peak. First major lower high. Second major lower high, and then this would be a higher high. However, we would have to take out this one to really prove that we've got enough strength to make it all the way up here to these higher volume nodes. And then, of course, we would have to eclipse the former all-time high. And I don't see how we're going to be able to accomplish that without one more trip downstairs where we hit those volume nodes that are hiding in the $10,000 to $12,000 range. Okay, now let's look for clues on the 1 month and then we're done. All righty, here we have the 1 month chart. Let's expand this out a little bit so we can get some volume node action on the VPVR, which stands for Volume Profile Visible Range, within the visible range of what we have showing on the chart. The indicators here don't look so hot. First of all, we don't have any indication that the fast line, the blue, is trying to cross over that slow line. We have a nice, gentle trip downstairs into the oversold zone. And the only good indicator that we have is that we're currently printing a light red bar on the histogram. But that doesn't mean that we're ready to reverse. We could have light candles while the price is still going down for, say, another month or two before the situation turns around. Right now, the fast line on the MACD oscillators is well below the slow line. It's divergent and they're running in parallel. Okay, the slope of this line and the slope of this line are the same. Okay, and it's somewhat the same here. Even though the blue line is trying to curl, right now they're both running at the same angle downward. So this does not give us a hard clue that we need that would say a bear market rally is right around the corner. Now, by the end of October, could that happen? Yeah, it sure could. And the way that we would be able to determine that is if these lines cross over. We need those two lines to cross, and then we need this one to follow. These oscillators are slower than the stochastic. So we would need confirmation of a bullish cross here to happen on the MACD oscillators. After that point, we could expect a bear market rally to come out of this. But after that point, again, if we come up to, say, this volume node around 30, we could sail on down, and we're still looking at all-time high, first major lower high, second major lower high, and then this would end up being the fourth and final major lower high, somewhere down into this area that's off the chart. So that's kind of what it's looking like. And we'll just have to wait to see how these world events play out and see how the world economy affects people's ability, or rather the institutional investors' ability, to pile money into Bitcoin. Now, it could be that as they lose confidence in other investments, and of course, we know that the Dow is seriously going downward. We'll take a look at the Dow. We'll take a look at the DXY. If they're jumping out of the Dow and they decide to pile drive into Bitcoin, that could drive a bear market rally. How long it will last, that's anybody's bet. So let's flip this up to the Dow and the DXY. So here we have the Dow sitting at 29,490 with a current green candle, but we still have an overall downtrend, a very ugly stochastic situation where the fast line is actually diverging away from the slow line, and solid red candles on the histogram with the MACD and a divergence of the oscillators. So this is not good news here. We're going down, okay? We're touching on this important green line here. If I zoom out the chart, let's see here if I can get the beginning of that green line. This is the peak of the first rally before this dive back in the COVID crunch, and then it became support. And so now we poked through it, and it looks like for the moment it is going to be resistance. So we'll expect price to come down and test lower levels. So that is the DJI. Let's look at the DXY. Here we go. On the 1 month, it's looking very bullish. And like I always say, whenever you see the stochastic stay buried up here and it doesn't want to jump down, that tells me that we've got one heck of a rally that is very strong. Look at these oscillators here. The stochastic fast line is way above, the oscillators on the MACD. The fast line is way above the slow line. And even though we're printing a light green bar on the histogram, we're still way above the zero line. We're still flying way above the 50 EMA and, of course, the 200 EMA. So we might get a small correction here, but I would expect that this DXY is going to continue to move up because people are losing their faith in foreign currencies, and they are looking to the US dollar as a safe haven. As long as other countries are pulling their investments out of their own currencies and putting their money into the safe haven of the US dollar, it's going to continue to go up. And that usually does not bode well for Bitcoin. So that's the summary of the chart. Okay, quite interesting on the charts there. So we have a lot to weigh. Is it going to be the economy that drags down the Bitcoin price, or are investors going to go bullish on Bitcoin as they divest from the DJI and from the S&P 500, the NASDAQ? Are the rising interest rates going to affect the Bitcoin price? Now, up until this point, every time the Feds come out and release news that the interest rates are going up, when we've had these 50 to 75 point basis point hikes, the Bitcoin price has corrected right along with the stock market. So we're going to have to watch this very closely and just see, well, what is going to transpire throughout the rest of October. We made it through bloody September. We did pretty good. But now all eyes are on that chart to see if we're going to get a bear market rally like everyone is thinking that we could have, and then what happens next after that. My goal is to profit from the bear market rally in altcoins, where I can get a higher gain, a higher return on my investment than what I could investing into Bitcoin. And then my goal would be to plow right back into those altcoins at the bottom and maybe into Bitcoin and wait for the next market cycle, which could be a long time. It could be 6 months to a year or more. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you think that we're going to have an extended bear market? What are your thoughts about the possibility of a bear market rally here in crypto? And do you think institutional investors are going to prop up the price of Bitcoin as they divest from a crumbling market with the Dow and the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Now, add into that, the housing market is about to hit a major bubble. It's about to burst right now. That could also have an effect on the crypto market. So post your comments below, and I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And if you are so motivated, you can donate to help the cause, to help me defray the cost of producing these videos. And I want to give another shout out to Carl for his $10 super thanks donation last week. Thank you, Carl. And I will have more information coming your way very soon. We'll watch out for this bear market rally, and I'll give you some reports on my favorite altcoin projects. Stay tuned. We'll hit it very soon. This is Carlton, and I am out.